Hello, everyone, and welcome.
Hi, everyone. How are you doing? Welcome to Soundbites Streaming Live, Part 2. We welcome you back if you were with us last Friday. And if this is your first time with us, we're glad you're here. How are you doing, Colleen?
I'm great. I'm super excited. I had such a great time last week.
I did too. So everyone knows I'm Tom Morrissey. I'm the Artistic Director of Theater Now.
And I'm Colleen Harris. I'm the Managing Director.
So Colleen, tell us a little bit about how this works.
Sure. So tonight we're going to have a wonderful evening for you. We're going to have 3 filmed presentations of new musicals. And they really show a great variety of style and theme. Up first, we're going to have Letters from May, which is an exploration of what it means to be an artist by Christopher Bjarke and Kara Katruzela. After that, we're going to have Humpty's Hatching Day, which is a hip hop retelling of one of our favorite nursery rhymes. And that's by Steve Wallace and Kenny Harmon with animations by Reginald William Butler. And then last, we're going to have Rise, which is an avant-garde tale of impoverished security versus uncertain freedom. And that's by Gabrielle Mirabella and Ernie Bird. Before each presentation, Tom and I are going to be interviewing the artists, so you get to know them a little bit better and you get to hear about their process and the inspiration behind these works we're going to see this evening. And then after each presentation, we'll have a Q&A. So if you have any questions for our creators, please put them into the chat on YouTube and we'll be asking those live during the stream. Also, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say just a little bit of background for those of you who may not know too much about us. We've been doing Soundbites since 2013, which is an annual festival of 10-minute musicals. And during that time, we've done 60 10-minute musicals featuring over 500 musical theater artists, including 60 different writing teams. And we, of course, were going to plan on doing Soundbite 7 this year, and then the pandemic hit. So we had to cancel that. We have rescheduled Soundbite 7 for May 2021. We hope that, keeping fingers crossed, that will happen. But since we weren't able to do Soundbites this year, we wanted to do something with the writers anyway. And so we worked up this streaming live of Soundbites. So last week, if you were with us, you saw 3 of the 10-minute musicals that would have been in Soundbite 7. And tonight, you're going to see 3 more.
That's right. And while you're watching, we're going to be putting up some information at the bottom of the screen so that you can keep in touch with these writers. So if you're enjoying what they're doing, sign on to your social media accounts, follow them so you can keep up with all of the great work they continue to do. You can also follow us at Theater Now NY, or find us on our website, tnny.org. And while you're here, you might as well go ahead and smash that subscribe button on this channel, because every 2 weeks we put out a new video that talks about new musicals and new musical writers. Tom, are you ready to get started?
I am.
All right, fantastic. Let's bring on our first writers. These are the writers of Letters from May. This is Kara Katruzela and Christopher Bjarke. Please welcome them. Hi, guys.
Hi.
It's great to see you. It's wonderful to see you. So tonight, all 3 of our musicals are brought to you by writing teams, and I'm always fascinated by writing teams and how they work together. Can the 2 of you kind of let people know how you work together as a team and how you first met?
Yeah, so Kara and I met in the BMI Lehman Engel Musical Theater Workshop, which is sort of a writer group in New York City for emerging writers. And we both entered the workshop in 2018. And at the end of your first year, kind of the big assignment is you have to write a 10-minute musical. And you get assigned to collaborate by the moderator. You can't really choose anyone. And Kara and I got paired up for our 10-minute musical at the end of our first year. And I believe the first time we ever really met at like a coffee shop near Washington Square Park, first time getting to know each other was the same day. I might be wrong. Maybe it was the second day that we met, was when we started talking about what would eventually become Letters from May. So it's interesting. Our relationship to this piece and our relationship to each other essentially started at the exact same time.
Yeah.
Just kind of neat.
I'm curious also how the two of you got interested in musical theater, and why write musicals? What is it about musicals that you feel is attracting you to that?
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I feel like I came to musical theater very late. The BMI workshop was really the first time that I was writing songs, understanding what it meant to write songs, work with a composer, and I'd been telling stories as a journalist in magazines and websites and that sort of thing. But there's really just something special about musicals that can communicate such power and emotions and through such a tiny sometimes package, sometimes only 10 minutes. But that's just the constraints that musicals give you within a line or a song really leads to a lot of creativity, I found. And so that's what really attracted me. And I know Chris has had a longer history with composing, certainly.
You want to tell us about it, Chris?
About why musical theater?
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I think it really started as a product of I guess, just my influences. In high school, I was completely obsessed with the work of writers like Stephen Schwartz or Alan Menken or Janine Tesori. And I didn't really know why at the time, just that it made me feel super deeply and that I needed to somehow do that myself to someone else. And I just sort of blindly followed that intuition until later in college, when I'd actually written a couple musicals. I actually started to recognize maybe why that might have been that I was so attracted to it. I mean, music has such kind of a storytelling power in musical theater, and just an ability to kind of create subtext dramatically and emotionally within musical theater that I don't really get in like film scoring or like pop songwriting. So that's probably the gist of it, I guess. Yeah.
Well, we obviously agree with you because we spend a lot of time thinking about musical theater ourselves. When it comes to this particular show that we're about to see, what was the inspiration behind Letters from May?
Yeah, well, it's about the life of a creator, right? And I feel like a lot of us in musical theater who can appreciate musical theater, there's a universal aspect to creating stuff. I mean, there's obstacles, there are gatekeepers, there are challenges, there is COVID. I mean, there are plenty of things that sort of come up and get in our way, but we really wanted to tell a story about the full arc of someone's life. Chris's idea was to show a montage of an entire life in 10 minutes, and you'll see that it's through composed. So it's there's music underscoring the entire thing. And so we really just wanted to see, like, could we tell multiple decades and highs and lows in such a constrained period of time. So hopefully we accomplished that, and that it can sort of resonate with people who are on their own creative journeys right now.
That's great. What are some other projects that the two of you are working on?
Yeah, Chris, well, we both adapted stuff in our second year of BMI. So Chris's musical turned out to be very apt for this moment in time.
Yeah. Yeah, that was Zombieland for me, and it was Marvelous Mrs. Maisel for Kara. But yeah, I'm kind of at that stage in my life right now. Kara and I aren't working on anything other than Letters from May at this point. Maybe we will in the future, but everything that I'm doing is like in like the alpha stage. So it's like not like the fun part where you actually get to write the music or lyrics or stuff like that. It's like creating structures and stories and making sure it's like that it can withstand a story on top of it and that it can last for 2 hours. And so it's just very much like in the trenches right now with three or four different projects.
That's like having infant triplets or quadruplets. You got to take still with so much work.
Yeah, exactly.
Before we see this presentation, which we're so excited to see, Letters from May, can you guys introduce your cast for us and any creatives that you want us to know about?
Yeah, I mean, we have just this incredible cast, and I have to say, just shouting out everyone for making something during this moment in their living rooms in different cities, like across the country, not just in our musical, but in all the musicals that Soundbites have showcased. Like, actors want to act and singers want to sing. And I think, just trying to find ways to do it is worthwhile always. And our fabulous actors we have are Susanna Jones, Ezioma Asonye, Eric Cotty, Gina Katruzala, Katie Morrill, and our editor extraordinaire, Ron Pissarro, who helped us put the video together.
Fantastic. All right. Well, I'm ready to see it. I hope you guys are as well. And those of you at home, if you come up with any questions that you want us to ask either Chris or Kara, put them into the chat and we'll make sure we ask them after. But now let's take a look at Letters from May by Kara Katruzala and Christopher Biarki.
If you'll direct your attention over to this wing, you'll find a new career retrospective of the world-renowned artist May Dalton, who died recently at the age of 82. This exhibition features her well-known portraits of presidents, celebrities, major figures.
Who's Penn?
Oh, Penn. That portrait was donated by the artist's estate, who found it among her belongings. It's her only unfinished work. No one knows who Penn is, and their expression is open to interpretation. May Dalton's career took on a windy path, but began when she left behind her old life and started a new one.
Dear Penn, well, I've arrived. I can barely believe it. All I see is a blank canvas. But of course I can't forget what I had to leave behind. Every night, every day, you were there in every way. Now here we are. Take a breath, look around. Is this what they call higher ground? I've come so far. I will not say I miss you. That clings like a curse. And you're worth far more than a simple line of verse. A bit of persistence will manage the distance and tie a thread right back to home. I started a new portrait today. It's of you, waving goodbye under the clouds. Makes me sad and happy all at once. I'll send it as soon as I'm done. Meanwhile, I saw a local square nearby. Gonna get settled in and try to get some work.
Hey, you can't set up here.
Oh, sorry.
Take your paints and scram.
That's rude.
I had too many of you artists around here. Yo, V, she's creeping on your turf.
Let me at her. Well, dear Pen, do you have any idea how cutthroat artists can be? It's so hard to break in here. I feel like I'm stuck on the outside. Beginning, a rough beginning. I stand outside a massive gate, a laughing lock that's bolted shut. But winning, I dream of winning, and every portrait is a key to try the gate and break my rut. Right now I'm still in second place. I hide the failure on my face. My eye is on the prize and I feel...
What's wrong with you? Just slap some paint on the little shit's faces and move on to the next.
I'm sorry.
You're being so precious. Keep wasting time and I'll drop you in a second.
I'm trying, I swear I'm trying. I met my boss and he's a prick. The gig is lousy, but it pays.
May, the clown's out sick. You're up.
I'm dying, my dream is dying. Each hopeless day I drag my feet. It's getting hard to clear the haze. 1,000 no's for every yes. My future flows as I obsess. But even as I stumble, I still climb.
Is this your full-time job?
Oh, no. I have a lucrative multi-year contract painting faces at children's birthday parties. Sometimes I even do balloon animals.
Oh, God. Talent like yours shouldn't be wasted. Here, take my card. I work with young artists.
Dear Pen. Good news. Someone liked my work. Small, but it's something. This is the moment where at last I'm breaking free. Our plans are taking shape and soon will come to be. And soon will come to me.
Are you taking new commissions?
My daughter's stick figures are horrible. Do you teach?
I love a portrait of my parrot. Do you paint parrots?
How about a group show?
A lot of big names.
Could be an amazing opportunity. How about it?
Dear pen, gotta break now, it's only getting better. I'm moving up, no stopping me now. I'll make you proud with each and every letter. Moving up and soon I'll be on top of the world.
I have a client who's admired your work for years. We want to talk long-term contracts.
I'd love to hear some details.
I can't reveal the buyer yet, but let's just say you've heard of him. A lot of pressure riding on this portrait. We'll need your full commitment.
Listening, dear pen. Hey, how's it going? My work is flowing. You probably saw me on the news. Oh, I look good. Getting out for days now. Aren't you amazed how I made it happen in a blink? I will not say I'm famous. That clings like a curse. But now I'm living in a perfect universe.
Oh, sorry. Are you busy?
It's not important. Just make it quick.
They need you.
Who?
Everyone.
P.S. Still working on your portrait.
How'd you do it?
It's your secret.
Walk us through your routine.
When do you wake up?
How many hours do you work?
Do you even sleep?
How do you create?
How do you do it?
How do you do
What
it?
about inspiration?
Excuse me.
Your inspiration.
I'm inspired by my own thoughts, my surroundings, my beautiful home, my life, my beautiful life. To be perfectly honest, I'm kind of a solo traveler. I have a goal, I go for it.
So impressive.
Remarkable.
Solitary genius.
Doing it all by yourself.
Yeah, I did it all on my own.
Did you hear about her $1 million commission?
Her room full of awards.
I don't think she deserves it.
I read she started out painting faces at children's birthday parties.
Honestly, my hero.
I'm winning, they call this winning. With fawning fans and plastered grins. I try to run, I try to stall. I'm spinning, the world is spinning. Has this all been one big facade? There must be more beyond this wall. Day in, day out, it's all the same. I walk the walk and feel the shame. The pressure's at my back and I feel weak.
I'm sorry.
What's wrong with you?
I'm not sure what you want me to do.
You're being so precious. Keep wasting time and I'll drop you in a second. I can't afford to fall behind because of your incompetence.
I'll fix it right away.
Rise and shine, I'm on top of the world. So why do I feel pushed out of sight?
Don't read the review.
He can't see you today.
Sophomore slump.
They voided your contract.
What a hack.
Can't you see I'm on top of the world? But suddenly I'm drowning in doubt.
The museum deadline was a week ago.
2 months ago.
6 months ago.
3 years ago.
I tried to stop it all, but now it's set in stone. And though I'll take the blame is not my own. I'm facing this alone.
After several major commissions, May Dalton disappeared from the public eye. No one really knows why, but her work remains.
Dear Pen, I know a lot has changed. Things haven't exactly worked out as we imagined.
I wonder who Penn was.
Pen?
You're probably surprised to hear from me, especially since I stopped writing so long ago.
The one in the portrait.
That expression. You look so sad.
I'm not feeling very well, but I wanted to let you know I've started back up on the painting. The one of you waving goodbye on our last day.
It's open to interpretation, that's what she said.
I hope to finish it soon.
Kind of reminds me of someone I used to. Oh, never mind.
Meanwhile, I'll try to remember how things used to be. Every night, every day, you were there in every way. Now here we are. Take a breath, Look around, is this what they call higher ground? I've come so far, I will not say I miss you, that clings like a curse. And you're worth far more than a simple line of verse. You kept your persistence, you managed the distance, and tied a thread right back to home. You tied a thread right back to home.
Shall we move on to the next room?
Love, May.
Yes.
That was wonderful.
So wonderful.
Cast of thousands.
The costume budget through the roof. No, I loved how you
the
could
wig.
feel the energy in the piece. When I first read this piece, I could imagine the movement happening on stage. I cannot wait until May to see all of that movement happening on stage and see this really come to life as it was originally written to be done.
Us too.
Let's see if we have any questions from our audience. Oh, here we have one from Florencia. I'd love to know about the creative process. What came first, book, lyrics, or music?
Oh, that's a fun one, because once we got this assignment and sort of came up with this structure, Chris, I'm just gonna brag for a second, is a bit of a musical genius, and so he went away and he came back with 10 minutes of music that really actually just went through an entire life of a person. And so from there we started to build the lyrics on that, and then the book sort of came from there. So this was definitely like a music first and figure out the story later situation.
It's wonderful to have those musical motifs come back so many times in such a short piece without it feeling repetitive. I mean, just really beautiful work from both of you. I have another question, which is, one of your cast members is named Gina Katruzela. Is there any relation? I'm assuming there is.
There is. We like to keep it all in the family here in Letters from May. Gina is my aunt, and Eric Cotty is actually my brother. So it was just such a thrill to be able to work with them on this, because I haven't seen them very often in the last 8 months. So this is a great opportunity to, create something together.
Well, in theater, they say it's who you know. So it's definitely an example of that. If you at home would like to keep up with the work of Christopher and Kara, we're going to put their social media handles down here right below. And we hope that you'll go follow them right now so you don't miss what they've got going on in their lives. Thank you guys so much for being here. We really appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Before we bring on our next pair of writers, we have a special message from one of our musical theater heroes. He also happens to be a wonderful supporter through the years of Theater Now New York.
Stephen Flaherty, half of the team of Ahrens and Flaherty, has written musicals that everyone knows. Everyone knows Ragtime that they wrote, and Seussical, and Once on This Island. I mentioned last week one of my favorite musicals that's a lesser known of theirs that I love is Lucky Stiff. They also wrote My Favorite Year, which is a great musical. So many musicals, Rocky the Musical,
Anastasia, yeah.
So they're just a great team, and they've been great friends to Theater Now and to us. And so we have something that Stephen wanted to say. So let's see, let's hear what Stephen brought for tonight.
Hi, I'm composer Stephen Flaherty, and I wanted to say congratulations to these 12 writers and to these 6 new musicals. Thank you for tuning in tonight to support Theater Now at the birth of these wonderful short form musicals. And I'm here to say, being only 5'4" in height, good things can come in small packages. So thank you for your support of this organization. They're wonderful. They're doing great new work. They're supporting new emerging writers, and what can be better than that? So enjoy the rest of the evening, and thank you for tuning in.
We're so grateful to Stephen for acknowledging our wonderful writers and for his ongoing support of our work. If you'd like to join him in that support, you can make donations to the handles that are going to be on the screen momentarily. And I know we have a lot of people from all around the world. So if you, we have people here from Seattle, LA, Raleigh, Ukraine, Vancouver, Taiwan. So if you're not able to use these particular apps, you can also go to our website, tnny.org. Isn't that exciting to have people from all over the world?
Yep, that's great.
That's something new for us, you know.
International.
That's right.
So let's bring in the next writing team now. It will be composer Steve Wallace and lyricist and book writer Kenny Harmon and animator Reginald William Butler. Hi guys, are you coming?
There they are.
Hey, hi, how y'all doing?
Good, how you doing?
Good.
Hello.
It's great to see you.
So,
great to see you too.
Tell us a little bit about whose idea this show was.
Oh, Steve, we can't hear you.
Oh, Steve, you're on mute.
Thank you. I was trying to see if you guys could read lips. And you all failed. No, I'm joking. It started off as my idea. From reading nursery tales to my daughter when she was really young. I started to be interested in like what happened to these people right prior to getting to the place where they were. Like, how did Humpty Dumpty get to the wall? And so when we got matched up at BMI, another BMI pair, me and Kenny.
Ding, yeah.
So someone in the chat said it's gonna be a drinking game now. So, but we got matched up, and I came to him with the idea. Hey, Caitlin. And he took it to a different place. I kind of had like this sort of operatic thing where it was like Humpty's on the wall and he was like, I'm going to end it all like Tosca or something like that. But he was like
Javert's suicide.
Yes.
Yeah, totally.
He was like, let's do something else with that. Let's smooth that out a little bit. So
yeah, totally. It's a nursery rhyme after all. And so Steve basically said, I want to do the origin story of Humpty Dumpty. And I Googled, and it's amazing. This nursery rhyme is 200 years old. It's just 4 lines, and it's really unsatisfying. So it's like, okay, we got to make it up. And the other thing Steve said to me was that he wanted to try to weave in other nursery rhyme characters. So it was like, okay, we can work with that. And here we are.
Great. You mentioned BMI and our other writing team before you mentioned BMI. And last week we had some people that mentioned BMI as well. So I think people who might not know what BMI is want to know a little bit more about it. Can you tell us a little bit about the BMI program?
Yeah, sure. The Lehman Angle program for a workshop for composers and lyricists. It's been going on for years. Tons of great writers have come out of there, like Alan Menken to Bobby Lopez to just tons and tons of different people who have brought shows to Broadway and to films and Disney and so forth. You go through an audition process. You send your material in that you have. They ask for a comic tune, something, a ballad, something upbeat, and you go through an audition process. And if you're accepted to the program, you basically have like two solid years and then an advanced program. The 2 solid years includes just the first year where they match you up with a variety. This composer with this lyricist without, just kind of randomly. In the second year, you get to choose your collaborator, and then you focus on one musical that you want to write.
That's great. And I know one of the requirements in the BMI program is to write a 10-minute musical. And so we've always had quite a few BMI writers, and the quality is so great from BMI to begin with, but we always have so many that submit to us because we're a 10-minute musical festival.
Yeah.
So right. Exactly.
And also, we also run at Theater Now a musical writers lab, and I want to welcome you, Kenny and Steve. You've just been recently accepted into our new program, and we want to thank you and welcome you for that. Colleen's going to talk a little bit more about the lab a little bit later, so we'll hear about that later.
Yeah, we're so happy to get to keep working with you after this festival's over. Now, Reginald, you are our first ever animator that's been involved with the Soundbites Festival. I'm wondering, how did you get involved with this project?
Oh no, I'm excited. So it's funny how nowadays you can meet people and not meet them in person. And so I've known Steve for years. I've known him, and I'm actually a songwriter. So we've done music together. So the relationship really was with Steven and I, and not Kenny. But when Steve presented this piece to me, I wanted to. Anytime an animator, hears 10 minutes, of lip sync and movement, it's a little scary. And I think I put the piece down for like a week or two, and I was like, I don't know. And then the story was so strong that I took it on. And kudos to you, Kenny, for just what Steve, what you guys put together. I couldn't deny it. So the relationship was with Steve, and then I just sort of went from there and took it on, and I'm very happy that I did.
Well, we cannot wait to see your work. But before we see your work, can you guys introduce your cast and any other creatives we might need to know about?
Yeah, definitely. The cast. So we have some great people in our cast. Chester Gregory is playing Humpty, who's done tons of stuff on Broadway. A variety. I'm not going to read his old resume. Google him. Google him. And SJ is playing Jack from Jack and Jill. Angela Arnold, also known as Asa Lovechild, she's playing Jill. We have Chuck Burks playing Black Sheep, and we have Caitlin Lee Clinton playing Itsy Bitsy Spider.
And I know some of them are in the chat right now, so thank you all for being with us.
What's up, you guys?
And if anybody has questions about this piece or about these artists, please pop those into the comments there in YouTube, and we will be asking them after the presentation. And that includes the cast members. If you want to know something about the show you're in, you can ask them too. So now let's take a look at Humpty's Hatching Day by Kenny Harmon and Steve Wallace, with animations by Reginald William Butler.
Tonight's the night, my time, a moment to shine. It's time to hatch, spread wings, and claim what's mine. My suit's the best, my curves make them sweat. My favorite scent from Hubbard's cabinet. I'm coming out my shell tonight. You can tell tonight. Tomorrow is my hatching day. No longer just an egg, no way. My party's hot, Jack Sprat secured the spot. And Jill's my date, I know it's gonna be great. I'm making moves, Black Sheep is spinning the grooves. I'm cutting loose, all thanks to Mother Goose. I'm coming out my shell tonight. Gonna yell tonight. The mother folks don't stand a chance when I do my Humpty dance. Yeah, do the Humpty dance.
Yo, Humpty, you're late for your own party. All right, gotta make it splash.
Jack Sprat, this party's hot, no doubt.
You're a good egg, Hump. You know we had to turn it out.
Hi, Humpty. Love the new suit.
Thanks, Jill. The little tiara's cute.
A little bling, right?
You have the coolest style.
And we put it to use, went the extra mile.
Humpty, wow, it's your special night. You hatch tomorrow.
Yeah, you got that right.
I can't wait to see what you'll be. In the meantime, save a dance for me.
First dance?
Hold on, Spud. I got you beat. She'll promise to take the first dance with me.
Yeah, sorry, it's spoken for.
Wait, are you two?
Well, we're not sure.
When Humpty Dumpty report to the dance floor.
What? All right, my night. Why's my chest so tight? I'm dizzy. Yo, shit, get busy. Let's do the excellent for a boy home.
I see that you want it.
Yeah, you want it.
I know you can taste it. No need to rush it, slow it down. Don't wanna waste it.
It's too good to waste, come on.
You're gonna love it.
It tastes so good.
It's nutritious.
Got all the vitamins, what?
Here in the spot, your wish come true. It's so delicious.
What's it called, y'all?
Egg salad.
Toss it up.
Egg salad.
Stir it up.
Egg salad.
Mix it up.
Make it chunky. Egg salad.
Spice it up.
Egg salad.
Serve it up.
Egg salad.
Fill me up.
Yummy, yummy. Music is thumping, got something to prove. My heart is jumping, makes me wanna move. You make the best night of my life. Let's keep it pumping, keep up the groove.
My heart is broken.
Egg salad.
Running, oh yeah.
Egg salad.
This is the worst night of my life, and I ain't joking.
Egg salad.
Toss it up.
Egg salad.
Stir it up.
Egg salad.
Mix it up.
Make it chunky. Egg salad.
Spice it up.
Egg salad.
Serve it up.
Egg salad.
Fill me up.
Yummy, yummy.
Hey, Jill,
Yeah.
want some fresh air? Maybe up to Well Hill? The moon jumping contest is supposed to start around 10.
Sure, Jack. Hey, we'll be back.
Hey, where you going? Where you going? This was supposed to be my magic night, a very special night. It's Humpty's night. The love that would have hatched, the girl I would have catched, a memory not meant to be riding it. There's Jack once more, he just is everything. He has everything. A high school king. He didn't have to do it. He didn't have to go for Jill, my queen. A really mean trick to play. And now they're out there under the starry sky, trading cuddles and making love at night. Oh, why can't I? 'Cause I'm just riding it.
Hey, Jill, kind of feeling like a...
Riding it.
See, I think Humpty wanted to ask you out tonight.
Riding it.
I know. Humpty's nice for us.
Riding.
I can't believe this is
Man, here I am, just a sad over. So much for Casanova. When will a girl love me for me? When will they see beyond this pearly shell? Aesop, give Humpty the love and he deserves. When will they appreciate these curves and swerves? Tomorrow, when I hatch, I'm gonna have all the boxes. The jewels, the spoons, the Bo Peep, and all the Goldilocks. That'll show them. They should have gotten this egg when they had the chance. I'm gonna be a swan, a big bad peacock, or an eagle that can poke your eyes out, no doubt. I'll show them all. Where'd he go? Let me climb this wall.
Humpty dearie, eyes are bleary. You should be a happy chum. Parties having, hatchings coming. Tell your Bitsy why so glam.
Bitsy, it's my saddest day. Jack stole my Jill away. I gotta get her back, and how? I wish that I could hatch right now.
You can do it. Let's get to it. Hatching early's quite the thing. Need some distance, hard resistance. Crack that shell, become a king. Humpty, you could have it all. Humpty, you'll be standing tall. You can't be afraid to fall. You just take a jump from the wall. No more tears now. Fight your fears now. Grind those gears now. Get it cracking.
Humpty Sassack, send him packing. Get him Jill back, get it cracking.
No more tears now.
Humpty Sassack,
fight your fears now.
Send him packing.
Grind those gears now.
Get him Jill back. Here's my hatching child.
What happened? You're supposed to be cracked.
Looks like the trickster got tricked right back. Look at my feathers. I look so pulled together. Nice bloom and bloom. Great for any weather.
We ran when we heard the sound.
Good gracious, Hump, the flyest bird around.
Look at those wings. You should go for a test run. Go swoop, go dive. Yo, go have some fun. I've been waiting too long for this day. It's Humpty's time. Let's fly, fly away.
Who would have guessed my egg was so depressed? But now, look at him fly. His broken heart, a chance to make a start and soar into the sky.
Give a little time, all things change.
What has made you frown can rearrange to joy. Give it a while. Your tears into a smile. In time, you'll find your way. In time, you'll find your way. In time.
And all must fly, so they say. So ends the story of Humpty's hatching day.
Yes, I was fully dancing.
That is so wonderful. That is so wonderful. And it's so suspenseful too. I mean, the wall, when I saw the wall, I'm like, oh no, not the wall.
Exactly.
I cannot say enough about Reggie's work. And really, I see the cast in chat, so I know Steve knows you. I have never met you. And so the fact that all of these people can produce amazing work in times that are not normal, with no direction or input, is pretty, it'd be phenomenal anyway, but it is truly extraordinary in this case. And Reggie, especially you, like it is,
oh man,
it is just amazing.
I want to add something to that too. And also, I told people to Google Chester Gregory because he's a theater guy. But everybody in this show, they have like multiple albums out, and they're like great artists, all of their own. SJ, Asa, Kaylin Lee Clinton. I've worked with all of them, and Reginald Butler. But that's but they're all incredible artists as well. So go check them all out too. They're incredible. Thank you guys.
Yeah, and thank you
very much
for trusting me. With putting visuals to this thing, because it was a big undertaking, and it takes a lot of trust. Yeah, so I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, Christine asks, how did you come up with what Humpty would be? I'm guessing that means, what kind of bird he's going to be, or if he's going to be a lizard, or what. How did you decide what Humpty would be?
That's all this guy down here, Kenny, that way. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny because when we had the first soundbite meeting for in the stage, and I thought to myself, why did I write a show where an egg hatches on stage into a bird? But Reggie gave him all the swag that I wanted, which is really the point. Is like he transforms from this kind of mopey, humble guy to someone who takes up space, and it's great.
Now you're even in bigger trouble because in May this is going on stage.
You are correct.
We'll do some costume design.
Right. Yeah. And that's why we have a brilliant director named Chuck Burks.
That's right. That's right. Who played our black sheep? Yeah. So he's got some great ideas, and hopefully some even better ideas now.
Yes, that's we have some very specific ideas as to in terms of the era, 80s, 90s, sort of hip hop ish musical, and you had a lot of good ideas in terms of like just key things like Jack had the. Did I come up with the J in the head? I don't know.
You came up with the J, but we talked about like Martin and like early '90s and school days and the type of.
I can see that with Jill's styling as well.
Yes. She's like a salt and pepper type.
Yeah, totally.
Something that I remember too when we met with you when we were planning this way back in the dark ages before this. You mentioned, and I never thought of this before, but the nursery rhyme never says that he's an egg, right?
No, it doesn't. In Alice in Wonderland, he's an egg. And I don't know, I kind of like the idea of an egg, and I like the idea of the egg hatching rather than just being cracked. Like he transforms. Like we all want to release that inner bird beast and be greater than we think we are. So it was very convenient from a narrative perspective.
Well, let's make sure that we put your social media handles down below because I know people are going to want to keep in touch with you and your work. So let's get that down there for everybody. And I know everybody now is going to be wanting to hire Reginald to put all their songs, animate all their songs.
I've got my phone set up.
Well, thank you all so much for being here. We really appreciate it, and I can't wait to keep working with you, particularly with Steve and Kenny, as you guys have joined our lab. We're so happy to have you.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
Well, thank you very much for having us. Thank you.
Sure. We have one more musical for all of you guys, but first we want to talk to you a little bit more about some of the things that theater now does. As we mentioned, Sound Bites is now in its 7th year, and we're constantly amazed by the incredible work that writers like Steve and Kenny do in just these short 10-minute musicals.
So we decided that we should somehow commemorate the musicals that we worked on. And so we put 25 of them together into a book. And we just published the book and released it recently.
Just this month.
It's now available on our website if you want to be one of the first people to own it. Actually, they've been selling really well. So I'm really, really pleased with that. And the book is really great because it has 25 10-minute musicals in it. And there's a little bit written about the authors and their intent with the show, and the cast is listed in it. There's some pictures. It's just a really great book. So we're so proud of this, and we're so happy to be able to do this. And we're also really happy to be able to do it for the writers that we work with, because they now have a published piece, which I think is really wonderful. And it's gone even farther than that. Because of the publishing of this book, we have been in talks with Music Theater International. They are a major licensing firm. They do a lot of Broadway musicals, and they have asked to license these 10-minute musicals, which is really great. So beginning after the first of the year, MTI will be licensing all 25 of these musicals, and they are available to professional companies, to schools, to community theaters, and I think it's just going to be a great resource. And again, it's also just so wonderful for our writers to be able to get them to be noticed and to have to have the possibility of being published and licensed is really wonderful. So we're happy to be able to do that.
Yes, and on top of the publishing and the licensing, we also run the Musical Writers Lab, which we just mentioned that Steve and Kenny just joined. And the Writers Lab is a place where writers come together every 2 weeks. They talk about the work that they're doing. They develop it with input from one another, and they receive support and give support. And we developed some of their musicals into full-length productions as well. We had 3 that were supposed to happen this past summer that we will be doing next year instead. But to tell you more about the Musical Writers Lab, let's hear from the Writers Lab members themselves.
The Musical Writers Lab is this fantastic group of writers who are all coming together to just help each other out.
So many fantastic artists that are New York based.
A group that's very supportive. Everyone's pleased to be in it.
And having this new community has also been such a nice part of being in the lab.
It's a safe space to bring in vulnerable work that will push you to create more vulnerable work and more adventurous work.
And having goals and deadlines and other people to show it to, and a sense that there were other people that believed in us as writers.
And it's really been awesome to be able to just have that chance to refocus and recommit to the writing every 2 weeks with a wonderful group of people.
It's composed of so many different people at different levels in their career. So it's super inspiring.
The feedback that we get it's like on a very, very high level.
And it's also just, talking about the real life experiences and sort of look at the more administration aspect of theater too, and talking about copyright and so forth has been very helpful.
It's got a very specific purpose, and that's not just to get us to a reading, but to get us to production. And that's not a lab out there that I know.
How it has been helping us finish this show faster.
And then, the results sort of speak for itself. Within 6 months, we were in rehearsals.
Their priority is to us as artists and giving us a place to express ourselves and helping to amplify our voices.
Writers have needs everywhere, and to have all of them being capable of being addressed in this lab is such an important thing to me.
It's just a really fun group of humans to get to hang out with and talk about musicals.
We're so proud of our ever-expanding community of writers, which now includes all the writers that you saw tonight and during last week's event. If you would like to help us in our support for musical theater writers, you can donate to the links that we've been putting down below, or you can go to tnny.org and donate there. Our final presentation, Rise, was written by Gabrielle Mirabella and Ernie Bird. Gabrielle will be joining us in spirit with a video message. We're going to bring Ernie on right now to talk to us live about Rise. Hi, Ernie.
Hey, Ernie. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
Good. Good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
So I wanted to ask you a little bit about your collaboration with Gabrielle. Tell us a little bit about how you complement each other and how you work together.
I think, I've been trying to think about this for a long time, but I think I couldn't figure out the secret of our collaboration, except maybe one thing that we try to yes and each other. So we build on each other ideas, and each one of us just goes further and further. And sometimes we go pretty far, so it gets really crazy. But we just do it anyway.
After reading this piece, I will say that it does go pretty far, but it's really exciting the way that happens. This is a very surprising and enticing piece. I really love it.
How did the two of you meet?
Yeah.
We met at the graduate musical theater writing program at NYU Tisch.
Right.
Not BMI.
But he said it, so if you're drinking along, you can go ahead and do it if you'd like.
I said earlier, we get so many writers from BMI. We also get a large number from NYU's graduate musical writing program, and it's an outstanding program. And as you know from having gone through it,
it's truly wonderful. It's been a blessing for us, and I thank the program for many things, and among them is for meeting Gabrielle Mirabella, because this has been I would say it was during the program that we got to know each other, how we write, what we want to write, and then what happened is that we realized that our writing style, our priorities about what we want to write sort of align with each other as a composer and a lyricist respectively. So I think I'm very grateful.
That's good. That's good.
Well, Speaking of Gabrielle, let's
Yeah.
meet her now. We're going to bring on a video of Gabrielle, and in it, she's going to tell us a little bit more about the inspiration behind your musical Rise. Ooh. Oh, I can't hear it.
We were tasked.
Yeah, let's pull the volume up just a little bit to make sure we can hear what she's saying.
Streaming live.
There we go.
Rise actually started as a class assignment for Ernie and myself to at the NYU writing program. We were tasked to write 10-minute musical based off of the nursery rhyme Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. I'm sure you know the rest. And we accomplished the assignment, and we had so much fun with it. We ended up writing a second 10-minute musical, and that's where Rise came from. Rise is loosely based off of the actual story of Jack sisters. They were two young French sisters around the beginning of the 20th century, and came from very, very little. They bounced around from home to home, working from a very young age. And one day they found a way out of their poverty and out of this cycle of abuse. Unfortunately, it was through extreme violence. And we play on that with Rise, sort of that theme, violence begets violence. And there are really no answers or happy ending, really, at the end of this story. You can look at it from a lot of different ways.
Great. So she's talking a lot about the story and the impact it has. Ernie, how did you take that and turn that into music?
Well, first of all, I think I was inspired by some of the writers I was listening to, some of the composers I was listening to from the Soviet Union, Shostakovich, Prokofiev among them. There's one, Georgy Spiridov, who is a composer from the 60s, and he was writing a lot of sort of avant-garde, forward-thinking classical music. But then also I was trying to look at it from the perspective of, I know, our two women there in the house, but I was imagining the aesthetics of a factory in the 20s and 30s. That was sort of a trendy thing, sort of a totalitarian vibe. Love it. So I was like thinking like about like how would machinery sound, how would a factory sound, and then you'll hear it. Oh no, you actually won't hear it because we don't have that part of the piece. But one of the things is that, for example, like cooking makes us happy is one of the lyrics from the Rise musical, right? And then I literally was trying to imagine a pancake being sort of thrown in the air, and then it like flips in the air, and then it sort of lands on the pan. And then I was like, and then the music in my head was like, da da ba 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 da da da, So yeah, that's the answer.
I love that. I love that answer.
Yeah,
I can
right.
like envision your music. That's wonderful. As you mentioned, we're not seeing the full piece. We're going to be seeing an excerpt. And to give us some context for that excerpt and also to introduce us to the performers, we have Gabrielle back again.
Indeed. We're about to see, we have the two brilliant actors, Sophie Machowski playing our Jackie, and we have Emily Ann Bose playing Jill. This is the start of the conflict. Jackie starts to have some questions about their situation. She, for whatever reason, cannot ignore the pain, the constant pain that the two of them are in, and she is trying to persuade her sister we have to find a way out of here. And Jill, of course, remembers what it was like before they were in their situation and what was worse then or now. And so the two sisters sort of grapple with their current situation and how to move forward.
All right, so now we're almost ready to watch it. Now, we'll be back with Ernie after the presentation. So if you have any questions for Ernie, please put them into the YouTube chat and we will ask those after we see the presentation. But now let's take a look at Rise by Gabrielle Mirabella and Ernie Bird.
This pain in my head, I can't stop thinking about this. What's outside the door? Why keep your eyes on the floor? I can't anymore. I want more. I haven't seen a day in such a long time. I haven't seen my sister in the sunshine. This pain, trapped inside this dark and empty dungeon, caring for her every want, her every damn whim. This pain, this is not our home. That is not our mother. We have scrubbing. That is nothing. We have buffing. Jill, stop bluffing. Think about the light. Think about the pain in your head. Let's keep working instead and work till we're dead. Oh, now is the time to go. No! Scrubbing keeps me happy, keeps me strong and my mind engaged. No time for thinking or sinking or wanting. I don't want more, I have you. Madam keeps me busy, my tummy full and my hands engaged. Yes, she may be daunting, but even when she's taunting, I don't want more, I have. My rag is my dolly, my broom is my prince. These shoes, they fit my feet. These walls are a palace, this floor isn't dirt. We work, we drink, we meet. Remember when we didn't have meat or a bed? And with that said, I gotta go back to scrubbing. But the pain, buff it clean. But the door, ignore. I want more. We can't. We're poor. And there was never any door. Where's the? Where's the? Where's the?
That was
Oh my
great.
God. I know, it makes my heart beat faster, that ending.
I can't wait to see the whole thing.
I know, it's going to be so fantastic. I remember reading it for the first time and just being so drawn into this world. And Gabrielle also wanted to send along her special thanks to Jesse Field, who did all of the directing and editing here and did a wonderful job of giving us that feeling we would have gotten had we been able to see it live.
Absolutely. Jesse has been such a she helped us so much with directing the video, all the shots, all the planning that went into creating the video and everything that a director does. I mean, nothing would happen without Jesse Field.
So we have a question. Any other musicals that you and Gabrielle are working on right now?
Well, right now we're working on a musical project. So it's not exactly a musical, but it's a musical theater podcast called What Will She Do Next? It's women's history set to music. And we each episode we choose a woman from history, and we write a story and a song about her. And it's a podcast for kids. This way we teach them perseverance, and we want them to overcome obstacles in life. Yeah, it's been a very exciting project, highly produced. We've been writing nonstop. Every 2 weeks we're releasing new episodes. So that is the thing that has been keeping us like, you know, the whole world is going crazy, but we have the podcast.
Got something to keep you sane. That sounds amazing. So what will she do next?
What will she do next?
And is that available just wherever you can find podcasts?
Wherever, on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify. Recently, I heard radio.
Okay.
So yeah, we've got some exciting people coming to our episodes. We were starring. We recently collaborated with Cara Lindsay. She was starred as Nellie Bly, which is an incredible story about an American journalist. We collaborated with Matt Lucas, and more exciting Broadway guests to come. So it's like, you know, we're bringing Broadway to people's houses. And I think right now at this time, this is something people really want, especially when this teaches you something. So I think, yeah, that's the exciting project. So not a musical, but
I appreciate though. Podcasts are keeping me sane right now. I do my jigsaw puzzle and I listen to my podcast. So I'll definitely put you guys into rotation. Let's put the social media. There we go. Keep up with their work at Gabrielle Mirabella and at I'm Ernie Bird. And make sure you follow them. Make sure you follow everybody who you've seen tonight. You can follow us at Theater Now NY so you can keep up with all the things we have going on. Yes, Ernie.
One last thing I just want to say, the hugest thank you to Theater Now, to you both for organizing this. It's been a blessing to have 1 hour of real theater.
Thank you. And we thank you as well, 10 times over.
I just received it.
And we'll get to see you again in May. So it's a wonderful ongoing relationship we'll have. And we want to thank so many other people as well. We want to thank all of you for watching right now. We also want to thank Katrina and Paulina, who we'll bring onto the screen.
Let's see them.
There we go.
Paulina's been manning the chat, and Katrina has been our virtual stage manager, getting people on and off and making everything happen. We couldn't do it without them, and they're stuck with us now. They're never going anywhere, but so thank you so much, guys. We love having you with us.
Thank you. couldn't do it without you for sure. And we want to thank our sponsors. We'll be showing you a list of those at the end here. We also want to thank our board. Our board of directors is amazing, and they've been really supportive of us finding new, different ways to bring our musicals to you, to support our writers during the pandemic. We really appreciate them. We want to thank Broadway Sessions for allowing us to use their StreamYard link so that we have a pro StreamYard going on here. We love Broadway Sessions with Ben Cameron, and you can check them out as well. You can find them online. Just type in Broadway Sessions. They're fantastic. And I want to thank you, Tom. I had a great time these past 2 weeks. What are we going to do next Friday?
Thank you. I don't know. I do want to say one more thing, though, also, which is that this has been a really difficult time for artists. And I think you heard that in Ernie's voice when he was talking a little bit about the opportunities to be able to do something like this. And I've certainly noticed it with our lab members. We were fortunate enough that when the pandemic hit, we pivoted immediately to Zoom, and we continued our lab meetings, and they continued working. And I think it's been, in many cases, so helpful for them. We did end up canceling 3 shows, though. One was right in rehearsal. It was about to open. It was one of our lab shows. We had to cancel our cabaret program. We had a lot of in-person things that we had to cancel. But we are hoping to be able to ramp back up again when this is all over. And the first thing we do have listed already is our hopeful May 2021 Soundbite 7, where you'll see these pieces up on their feet on stage. But I wanted to give you a little bit of an insight into what we're looking at in the future as well. We're so intent on giving opportunities to artists and particularly writers. And we feel that there are a lot of people, particularly in New York City high schools, that don't have access to a musical theater program or a writing program. So we're working on putting together a program that will address high school students who will have an opportunity to develop the skills of writing musicals, which we think is something that is really needed. And that's something we're looking at in the future. And so anything that you can help us with at any time, if you want to make a donation to us, it will go into our future programming. It will go into our live events. And if you can help out in any way, that would be great. And we also are always looking for volunteers. So jump on in. We're welcome to have you. So I just wanted to throw that in, Colleen. Thank you.
Yes, and we run a very lean, mean machine. So any small donation will go a really long way in this organization. And if you make a donation of $25 or more, you'll automatically become a member, and you will get ticket discounts, including to the Soundbites Festival. So if you're planning on joining us to see these up on their feet, you can get a discount if you donate $25 or more. I've had a wonderful time these past 2 weeks. Thank you to everyone who wrote these shows, who performed these shows, and to everybody who showed up and watched them. Hopefully we'll see you all really soon.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Bye.
I love that Zoom wave thing, right?